Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Boakai, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Panelists.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of our
Into your main character era with Quick Dealer's Indian curly bundles.
Somebody's gadget is on.
Straight in a snap. My hair transformations are absolutely.
If it's Sunday evening, it is on point. We have pontificated for the past 5.5 years. Today we are here. We are not going to call this the closing argument because that's another show. But we are going to be making our closing analysis on what has happened the past 5 years. And we are going to culminate that with the closing of the campaign, the green day yesterday and the blue day today. There are some videos that are making the rounds on social media with people that are purported to be CDC partisans giving money out and t-shirts to members of the public to either attend or vote. We've seen this mostly since the election period. We want to know whether this has a place in our ballot politics, whether it is legal.
You have to put Anthony in the back. I think he got some background noise and he said he's not hearing us.
Whether this money in our politics is pervertive to the point where we say it will have some danger on our pending and budding democracy. What is the role of money and peddlings of influence? I know today we expect to come out here and plant a pole or flag and call this our ground, and we have to defend it. But that's not the case today. Today, we are going to be talking about those things that affect our democracy. What have we learned in the past year or so? How can we improve on it? This is where we are. With me today are my partner here, Mr. Aliyo Kamara, who supports Joseph Boakai. I want to say this here, Mr. Aliyo Kamara is a founding member, from what we understand, of the original CDC. So he is not new to Liberian politics. To my left, or at the bottom of the screen here, is Mr. Elvis Morris, who has been a sympathizer or a supporter, not a member of CDC, but a supporter of the president, but have been at times 90%, 75% of the time, I would say, have been very neutral and centrist in how he sees it.
It's true, Mr. Kamara. Very true.
On my left is Mr. Ato Weah, former executive member of EULA and an active participant in Liberian politics. He and I go all the way back. So, gentlemen, welcome, Mr. Aliyo Kamara. How is the nation's capital? Or I know you're in the area that not in the capital itself. How is the Baltimore, Maryland area, sir?
Yeah, everything seemed really, really good here. We were the first group in the CDC. I actually did not play an executive role in founding the CDC. But yeah, we started the CDC from 2004, just to make that clear before somebody said, oh, Ali was part of the first 5 people who signed a document. No, I wasn't in that position. But all in all, look, things are looking good. Things are looking straight. We're in Joseph Boakai camp. Even though we're very, very well comfortably seated, everything we're looking at. We have tried. We know there will still be some loopholes, but we have tried to cross our T's and dot our I's. And we think whatever mistake we made in during the first round, those mistakes to a larger extent has been closed, has been repaired. And so we're looking good. We saw what happened with the CDC today. In fact, that makes it even feel much, much better.
Great. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason I've been busy. I didn't watch the Blue Day today, so I will rely on the expertise of those who watched it to make comment. Mr. Ato Weah, you are in the nation's capital, in the Baltimore area. How are you doing, and how are you and the family?
Thank you, Mr. Gilmer. I'm doing fine. Family doing fine. I'm in Philadelphia as I speak to you, and I am so happy today. The footages that I've seen today, it elevated me more. I was elevated before, but it elevated me more. To see the groupings today tells some of us that we are not going back. Forward, we must go. But I'm doing good. Family doing good.
Thank you very much. And from the state of 10,000 lakes, we have Mr. Elvis Morris. Mr. Morris, welcome, and how are you?
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. It's great to be back on. I know I was off last week. I'm excited. I mean, I'm more confident now than I was in the first round. The first round, like I said on the show, I was politically depressed, but now I'm politically upbeat because I think, this is going to be a repeat. Like you've been saying, I must give that to you, of the 2017 elections. But in relations to CDC giving out T-shirts and money and things like that people are alleging, look, it may be a poor analogy, but it's like a man who's in a relationship and refuses to give his woman money because if you give a woman money, you will say that the woman is after you for money. Look, this government is in power. This government is the ruling party, and they have political rallies. They have political contribution. Just how you see you people raising money, CDC people are raising money. Every money that the government gives or the government uses for political purposes. It's not coming from the government, or not, I won't say the government, but the CDC uses. It's not coming from the government coffers. They have political rallies and they raise money for political activities. So if people can't afford car pay or people can't afford to print their own their own t-shirts, the government can do that and give them a t-shirt because we know things are not so great in terms of the economics in our country. So I don't see anything wrong with that. When people are trying to say the government is trying to induce people to vote for them, no way. All the people that voted for United Party, I'm sure the government had the means to go and induce them to vote. But these are seditions, these are loyal people who are loyal to the party, and the government wanted, not the government, but the CDC wants to help facilitate them with political, memorabilia. That's fine. It's well within the, in the NEC laws. So I'll leave it there for now.
Mr. Doe, after we are Doe,
Yes, sir.
we are seeing on Spoon Network, in other chat room, the Unity Party is raising money to pay people to buy t-shirts, to transport them, to feed them. If you had a camera where they are distributing their t-shirts and the paraphernalia, you can take a video and say the same thing that Unity Party is paying people, giving people t-shirts. Isn't this what political parties do?
There is direct. There is totally not right. But the fact that you have a political party and you are not engaging in strategies to bring people on your side. And the fact that if you want to run a political campaign, if you do not have the political capital, you don't have the money to run a campaign, you will run with lies and utter deceits while you're doing the same thing. That is totally not right at all. I can remember in 2008, I'm a registered Democrat. And in 2008, I left Maryland, right? But in 2008, I was transported to Colorado because it was a battleground place. Are they inducing me? Or was the Democratic Party inducing me to go to Colorado to knock on doors? Or when when I might be transported to go to Virginia to knock on doors, is it wrong in a political campaign? I said, no, if I am giving t-shirts to go and campaign for a party, is it wrong? I said, no. That's why if you don't have money to do certain things in this politics that we are in, you want public office, you got to be strong. You can't just get up from blue sky and tell and say that you want to dance with the devil, you dance with the devil, and just relax yourself dancing with the devil. When people are other party fighting hard to make sure that Josh Weah is really elected, then you will take the airwave and say you gave people money. Of course. You're doing the same thing. You give people money. I were on the Spoon TV. We've been hearing Spoon TV. Spoon TV said they gave the Unity Party this, they gave the Unity Party that to protect their vote. And where the money coming from? The Unity Party money? And the Unity Party money? That different people money they're giving? I mean, we should stop that. George Weah will be re-elected. And if you can't stand the heat, and then just go low for some kind of cold place to stay. Thank you.
Quickly, Mr. Gimme, quickly. Look, I think that money that they're raising on Spawn TV, I think after these elections, we need to have a Freedom of Information Act to see how they actually raised that money. If actually it was raised by individuals, or if Stanton boosted that money by putting his own money on top of it. Because $300,000 is no sneeze. You see people raising money in the United States. You think people can raise $300,000 in a few hours' time? No way. So we need to see where that money actually came from. But now the government can't do anything. But after these elections, they should order that fundraiser.
Great. Mr. Kamara, here we are. We're in a political campaign. We are known to run campaign in a small district in Kwanegoni. The lady that ran and lost there said it. It is not cheap. And before these people even win, some of them are in $50,000, $100,000 debt to Lebanese and other people who got means. That's why the first 2-3 years, they basically underwater. They try to pay back their debt. I want to make it clear now. The video we saw people that wore something to the beret. We don't know whether those people were seditionists or whether they were actors. We don't know. But Mr. Kamara, I think Mr. C wanted to, his question to me was, is that damaging to our democracy where those who have money, they have the upper hand to basically buy everything, and you and I, who are legitimate citizens who are concerned about our country, our district, say we don't have money, we don't have a voice?
All right. Great question. The only thing that I was confused about is why did you have to use my district when it came to me talking about Quadric Bunny? But anyway,
because the lady that was in Quadric Bunny was my friend, and she lost. That's what I'm saying. And she made a comment that you need resources, a lot of resources, in most of the time to win. That's why.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just pulling your leg, man. When somebody say that the CDC raised money,
no, not CDC, not CDC. The Unity Party he meant.
No, he did not. Listen. The young man over there, Evans Morris, said that the CDC raised money. The money did not have to come from government, and money did not come from government. Am I lying on you, Mr. Morris?
You're right, Mr. Kamara.
Okay, good. So now the only thing Mr. Morris didn't tell us is where and how did they raise the money. We saw the ANC fundraiser in the United States and in Liberia. We have been witnessing the fundraiser of the Unity Party, and we even have a website out there called joeboakai.com. There are cash apps for the Unity Party everywhere. There's send-wave numbers everywhere. And I would hope that you guys can give us some details as to how CDC raised their funds. But to your question, Mr. Gilman, there is nothing wrong with giving out money and T-shirt if the money is ascertained legally. If the money is acquired legally, there's nothing wrong with it. What is the source of the money that CDC is distributing around in bundles? Now, when Mr. Murray say that, they will investigate Spoon and whatever, that's easy. Because there are financial services that the government can go through, like PayPal, like Cash App. As a legal government, you have the right to request certain information if you feel that there was some wire fraud that went on. But we hope CDC will be able to do the same. Now, what this tells me as a person, for CDC to be going around sharing it, if I don't see any danger, because it has never posed any danger before, because it's always existed. And parliamentary elections and all of that. Even, went back in the days when clown chiefs and town chiefs and other people were being elected, of course, there were hands being changed with cash and other valuables. But my thing here is standing from the Unity Party perspective and looking into what happened. I just see a group of people who are looking for attention, and they will spend any amount of money to get that attention, something we don't have to do. All we have to do 2 days to the day or a day to the day we announce, and the people, they troop in. So CDC have to do this in order for optics. They want to look good, and so they're spending whatever they're spending. But we just want to know the source of the resources.
Mr. Morris, you and I know political season is a season of propaganda. Anybody can wear. I can wear Unity Party T-shirt and go beat on somebody to make them look bad. People take the picture and say, look at Unity Party people beating folks. So these videos cannot be authenticated. We can say this. I know.
I saw that coming. Go ahead.
The last time we saw video of people say Unity Party doing when they had that big rain, that people sent me video that Unity Party were trucking people from Bassa, long trucks coming from Bassa. They said we couldn't authenticate it. We saw the truck had Unity Party on it, and people are saying they are trucking people. This is part of it. Mr. Morris, educate us here. How legitimate are these videos? How can we authenticate? Would these things be around? Is political season? I know it. How can we say these photos from Bassa, from Monrovia, they are authentic?
Okay. To Mr. Kamara's question, right? In 2017, let's just go back. In 2017, how did the UP finance their campaign? Was it through fundraising, or were there contributions from people who worked in government, who were donating pickups and using the resources to help the party to win elections? So when you're talking about fundraising, yeah, especially in a place like Liberia, once people think the government is in power, the grassroots, the ranking file of the party, they're not going to send their money because their perception is that people are working in the government already have the money. So why should they have to pay to run campaigns? Those people who are in government should be the one, bearing the brunt of the financial burden, for the political party. So for me, I think when you're asking how CDC raise money, that's how they raise money. Those people who are in political, positions, or those people who are working in government who have the resources, they tend to contribute 5,000 here, 10,000 there. They contribute, and that money is coming from the government salaries and the money that they made over the last 5 or 6 years. So that's how they raise money, just how they did in the United Party. So that's to answer your question. When you're talking about this whole thing where, how do we know if the video is authentic? Mr. Gaiman, I'm not even worried so much about it because the reality is, yes, even if it's seditions, even if it's the authentic, video, nothing is wrong with it. If I go to a rally, if a lot of people, if I have resources, if I'm a somewhat wealthy man within a political institution, and other people are, impoverished, and they need some means of transportation, or they need, they need something for the cold water, so to speak. Look, am I going to say no? Because this is politics, I'm not going to give you any money because you got to do it with your own free will. Of course not. If I can be of assistance to anybody, whether it's to transport them, to pay their way, so to speak, or to provide vehicles to transport them from one point to another point to make it easier for them to, to enjoy the political franchise, I'm going to do that. That's why they said, in America, you have what they call the donors, political donors. They have billions of dollars and they use that money to help the political institution so that the end will justify the mean. They want to pass, legislations, or they want certain people to get in office to propagate their political policies or their agenda, and they spend their money to get that done. So there are many people within the CDC who have resources, and they're using that, to get people to where they need to be and to get people active in the political, in the political system. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If it's CDC people or if it's Unity Party people trying to act like CDC people is insignificant, it's immaterial. The reality is, like Mr. Kamara said, I will say this before I get up. Look, you're talking about optics and CDC have to go bag people. The elections was a prime example that no, it's not the case. More people voted for CDC than Joseph Boakai. People use the same nonsense that, more people in the opposition voted for Weah this first round. I mean, he lost the election. Nonsense. The reality is, more people in 2017, 62% of the people, just we only got 38% in the first round in 2017. That means 62% voted against him. In the second round, there was almost a landslide, a win for the president. So he did better in his first round by himself. And as the trend is going, he's going to probably do even better in the second round again against Boyka. I'll leave it there.
Great. Mr. Weah, I don't know if you saw the green closing yesterday and the blue closing today.
I did see the green closing and the blue closing today. But I must tell you, in this open forum, that if we will consider the two closings, we will say today, George, we have already won the elections. Because the green closing yesterday that I saw, the momentum started very weak, and I followed through. It started weak, and people dragged to even go. Like, you get her, we're closing today. What you're doing, you ain't getting too late. Just get up, just get up. You know, that's how it looked like. But when you saw the blue closing today, you said election is over. The elections are over totally. Because the blue closing today is like double the green closing yesterday. So that is why I'm so happy that I cannot wait for the 14th, for Tuesday, where George Weah will take his jersey, his number, and cover it with the green. And we will flock, and he will going to flock the green on the serious note. Because that particular day was set aside to set another record, and that record will be set. November 14th. November 14th. All right. Well, let's look at this giving all money and t-shirt to voters. I think there is a common thing that been in existence for quite some time. Not even in a religious thing. If you can recall, the late may his soul rest in perfect peace, the Right Reverend Bishop Atokula, the man who used to truck people to a convention scene, and he ran over and over. He was elected bishop democratically. He was elected bishop over and over and over again. All the over there, the man will get all of them. You think the over there get money to transfer themselves?
Exactly.
All right? So when you get into a race, you should be prepared. You can fundraise, you can do everything so that you can win. If you play lazy and you just accusing people and you're not doing the right thing and you expect magic or God will just fall down in your favor, it will not happen. You got to move the needle. All right? Depending on you got to move it. So with this blue and green thing, if elections were here today, I am telling you, we will have a political suicide and we'll begin to bury some people politically. But if you will compare the two, my brother, I think the CDC won the day with the final campaigning.
Great. Mr. Kamara, we are talking about the two closing segments. The green yesterday on Friday, the green on Friday, the green on Saturday, and the blue on today. The reason I'm not putting too much emphasis on it because you and I have been, both of us have been victims of this crowd politics. There were one time the Unity Party people had their closing, and people say they were resolved because people were standing. Someone sent me a picture, said people standing in poo-poo water. That means they are more committed. The blue tsunami, the CDC folks say we covered the whole town, and some people say it was over. One of our analysts here on this show told me, based on what she saw, CDC would not even make it to the second round. And it turned out to be totally false. And she herself was shocked. And according to Costa himself, all that we have done to this job, we have made for 3 years, denigrate him, made him unpopular. Still, this man beat us. There's something about this man.
You asking me a question?
I'm coming. The question is, should we look at...
They may get it later, so previous is that.
Yeah. Should we look at... should we go back to this crowd thing and say the green versus the blue, and based on that, we can actually gauge where this country is going?
It actually sounds fun when you're disagreeing with your CDC partner, Mr. Brambo. So I'll leave that between you and him. You can disagree with him on that. But let me just say this before I can continue, right? The Unity Party raised money through Friends of Boakai, Australia, Friends of Boakai, Europe, Unity Party, USA, Canada, Cash App, joeboakai.com, Spoon TV, Spoon Talk, so we can give you actual medium as to where we raise our money, and we can even give you information because those who contributed did get receipts.
Where you raise your international money, where you raise your domestic money, that's what I want to know. Where you raise money for domestic.
Okay, so we have given you platforms as to individuals and groups that contributed, and all of those who contributed did receive their receipts because it was done electronically, and Mr. Gilman can attest to that. As for the CDC crowd, today in Margibi County, CDC should have closed in Margibi County today. But their office in Margibi County was empty, and the reason for that was simple. All of their partisans in Margibi County had to come to Masurara County. Similar situation in Buchanan. The partisans that were supposed to close in Buchanan today, they had less than 20 members there. The rest of the team had to come to Monrovia today. So the crowd you saw in Monrovia today was a crowd that were imported from other counties. My family, my wife is in Liberia, and she lives in the Banavik community. She never saw CDC compared to the first round. The first round of CDC, when they had their rally or their closing, all over Monrovia they were. But she didn't see one CDC jersey or uniform in her community today. Now, if you want to contrast that with the Unity Party closed in several locations synonymously. Okay? The Unity closed in Neighbor County. The videos are out there. Go look at them. The Unity Party closed in Masurata County. You saw what happened. It was organic crowd. They were not imported because instructions were given that the party leaders in their various constituencies should organize in those constituencies. So Jeremiah Cohen and others operated in Nima County. And I tell you, Nima was turned upside down. All right? And the only place in Nima that CDC showed some crowd was in District 7 in the Musa Belede district, where there were few of them there, a good number of them there, gave it to them. But other than that, the rest of the people you saw in Monrovia, most of them came from out of country. So if we are comparing this crowd organically, CDC did not match. Day after tomorrow is the day. I'm glad you spoke to your friend Blamo to tell him he's wrong. And you're right.
After we are done, I'm Blamo Nelson. I'm Blamo.
Mr. Doe, I'm glad you told Mr. Doe he's wrong, because on Tuesday
he didn't tell me that I'm wrong.
On Tuesday, what you just told him will be proven on Tuesday, that the Unity Party is going to win. And what he's saying that this thing is a one round, means a quick thing, and somebody's going to get buried. You already told him that he's wrong about that. So I'll give that to you. You're a very bright guy.
But quickly, Mr. Kamara, look. Go ahead, Mr. Gilman.
While you are talking, it looks like they are listening to you in Bassa. They just sent me this video. This is what going on in Bassa.
Those are people in Grand Bassa. So
I wanted for the mental land. I wanted the mental land. I wanted the mental land. That's why. I got a video. I got a video.
Can you play the video?
1 minute. I want to say thank you to Coleman Janje P, who is at the event and was able to send me these things because they are watching us, and they are even shocked that you are saying this. Bassa Buchanan, according to him, they are still in the streets.
Can you play the video?
Anyhow, Mr. Doe.
No, you gotta come back. You gotta come back to me, Mr. Gilman.
Go ahead, Maurice. One minute before you go, I want to let us know that people are watching.
Can you play the video?
Watching.
Mr. Kamara, be patient.
And they had information to their fingertips, so they will be able to find these things verifiable. Go ahead, Mr. Elvis.
Right. So the point I was trying to make is, Mr. Kamara, you did a great job before the first round. With this whole, using optics to gain her mentality or her support. You're talking about rallies being an indication that United Party is more popular than the CDC. We saw when people were so-called, rallying in Pupu Water, that meant that they loved Joseph Boakai so much that the country was so resolved. But yet and still, George Weah beat him by about 8,000 votes in the first round. Had George Weah retained the criminal Prince Johnson, gave him what he wanted, it would have been a landslide victory in the first round. So most people will say this president made it even, difficult for himself by not, capitulating to Prince Johnson, which I think was the right thing to do. But look, you see Grand Bassa is coming in more and more for the president. Grand Bassa now is more resolved than ever before. Margibi is still a toss-up. I think the president needs to do more work in Kakata because, Margibi is split between the Bassa people and the Pella people. And I think that Kakata belt, was kind of going for Joseph Boakai, and I think that's why he bringing some heavyweights to Kakata to really try to flip Magibi to his, to his camp. But look, Mr. Kamal, we know this. What mistake did you guys make in the first round that you're going to correct now? Poll watching? You think people cheated you? Is that what you're saying? Without any evidence, or you just assuming that because you didn't have enough people to watch your polls when Darius Dillon said he had 97% of the tally sheet, and in fact he's a habitual and unrepentant liar, as we know from his history. That somebody like that you trust, you blame Monserrat. You might say that guy is getting bribed, to give votes to the CDC. That's how lowly he is. The reality is, crowd don't win politics. Ground game does. Money does. Likability does. Joseph Boakai is likable, sure. But when it comes to George Weah, he's both likable and he has the resources. And he's using it effectively, and he's going to win these elections in the second round come November 14th. Definitely believe that. I turn it back over to you, Mr. Gilman.
Great. Mr. Doe Weah, you wanted to make a correction. You say you have some video. You wanted him to land. He has landed. Go ahead.
There's the statement that he made. You said earlier that you and him, this crowd thing, you guys had some debate on it. So he is now saying what I'm saying, that you debunk me, and that indeed this particular crowd thing that went on when you asked the question between the green and the blue day, when I said if elections were held today, definitely George Weah would have been victorious. All right. So I just wanted to lay that clear that indeed I believe the crowd thing too. I believe the crowd thing. If you don't believe it, I believe the crowd thing. I think most people from the UP also believe the crowd thing, because these are some of the things they've been fighting over from now and going to Tuesday. But here's the deal. Here's the situation. People talking about, Kamara talking about people not having a rally or final rally in all of the counties. It is just unfortunate for Kamara to just make such a statement. Anyway, it is good that he is doing it to certify himself. Thank God, Jerome, for showing him the video there. But somebody from the UP, send me a picture, a photo stating that Sando County with 10 green, not Sando, but it's Eastern with 10 green. They are going there now. I mean, the UP sending people from Morovia. They sending people paying the way or from Nima or whatsoever. They trucking them to go to the Southeast, relying on them to turn the Southeastern region to green. And you coming here and telling us that we're buying. And the CDC is paying for people, paying money and buying t-shirts and whatsoever for them. I think both sides are doing the same thing. But it's just that the you people, they lie to the extent that they think they can rely on lies. From the one George Weah put his hand up and he took the oath of office. They began to incarcerate this man for complete 6 years. All right? Look at the recent elections. I thought George Weah was done. We were just talking and just trying to certify ourselves. But up again, he put all the thing, put it on, beat the UP. Amen. But anyway, there where we are. Comes Tuesday, I will be up as early as 2 a.m. I'll be up because I want to watch everything. No station, including the Spoon TV, the Spoon station should be reporting, because the last time I saw a green bear, a blue bear, with Dara Dillon. I know that he didn't get photo or what. I saw a blue bear with plastic bear with Dara Dillon. The elections were being reported for only 6%. The UP start taking the platform. They say they win. You can't be creating confusion in the country like that. Wait for the National Elections Commission. And then the National Elections Commission bring the results. All right, you can form your group. The tally can be coming in when you report it. But that at 6%, you start declaring that you win. That is just ingenious to the process and to your own policy, even the Senate bearer of yours.
But
That
Mr.
is
Do,
why George
Mr. Do,
Weah said we flock these people. And
Mr. Do,
indeed, seditions did, and they did what they could do to come over the UP and Boakai. Yes.
Mr. Do, you
Yes,
think
sir.
you think sound-minded people of integrity would believe a habitual liar like Dillon when he says he has 97% of the vote of the tally sheet? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was talking about 97% of the tally sheet for Monserrato, because you can't have 97% of the tally sheet for the entire country in that little blue plastic bag. And even as
I
that,
tell you.
the president barely lost in Monserrato. When you were talking about it was 56% win for Unity Party, you have people from the Amos Square and the Tapper, the Luther Tapper saying it was a 56. But I mean, having a major press conference to announce a victory. Desperado, if we ever seen
That's
one.
not right. That's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, I don't know if you not yet that Rihanna song Desperado. In the old Monte Carlo, they were in the old blue plastic bag with a fake tally sheet saying that they won the election. The reality is these guys are liars. They're quintessential politicians who would say one thing and mean another thing. What he meant to say was, we lost the first round election, but just how he lied and say it might be a shame on him for lying, but if the business class ticket, it might be a shame on me on that day for lying about the tally sheets. So we can't believe Dillon. He go on the class reloaded, he go on the class double reloaded, he's still a liar and will be a pathological liar and a failed politician comes 2029 when he's up for the re-election or 2026 or whenever. So thank you for your analysis. We appreciate it. I'll turn it back to you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Gay. We'll run right into the next section. I know you're having internet problem there. For the man who is an IT guy, you can't get on straight. You're stealing light. You're stealing signal. You're stealing everything. We're gonna IT man this. Just kidding, Mr. Gay. Our next topic is Mr. Mo Ali made an allegation against ECOWAS. He said he has evidence that the CDC paid ECOWAS $150,000 to falsely announce prematurely the results that CDC has won and that the election was fair, free, and credible. $150,000. And the ECOWAS, in essence, responded in kind, and it was damaging what it said here. It said ECOWAS observer mission to the Republic of Liberia presidential election has noted with regret a regular statement made by Mr. Mo Ali, national campaign spokesperson of the Unity Party, on his Facebook post on November 10, 2023, stating that the ECOWAS observer mission had been influenced by US $150,000 to declare purportedly rigged election as transparent, free, and fair. The ECOWAS observer mission takes strong exception to the scrupulous statement, which put at risk the safety and physical integrity of ECOWAS observers from across West Africa who have come to accompany the good people of Liberia in this pivotal election. The ECOWAS observer mission calls on the leadership of the Unity Party to denounce the statement made by its national chairperson, campaign spokesperson, that seeks to denigrate the image of ECOWAS. The ECOWAS observer mission challenges Mo Ali to prove his frivolous accusation or publicly withdraw it immediately and tender an unqualified apology. Failing this, the ECOWAS observer mission and the ECOWAS mission reserve the right to employ all necessary measures to hold him personally accountable for his utterance. The ECOWAS mission urges citizens of Liberia to deepen the positive outcome of the October 10 elections by remaining focused in living up to the civic responsibilities towards the November 14 presidential election runoff. In this regard, the ECOWAS Observer Mission counts on the people of Liberia to disregard such falsehoods perpetrated by individuals who may seek to derail the positive democratic gains made by Liberians. The ECOWAS Observer Mission wishes to assure the good people of Liberia of its complete neutrality towards the contestants in the November 4 presidential runoff polls. The mission further reaffirmed its total commitment to a credible, inclusive, and peaceful electoral process in Liberia in accordance with the mandate on Article 12 and 13 of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Governance, done in Monrovia, November 11, 2023. Professor Atahuru Jega, head of ECOWAS Commission, Elections Commission Observer Mission in Liberia, Ambassador Abdel Fatou Musa, PhD, Commissioner Political Affairs, Peace and Security, ECOWAS. So here we are. Mr. Mo
That's some of the disingenuous thing we're talking about. These are some of the disingenuous things we're talking about.
More Ali is direct.
That is not right. Yeah. People making effort to keep the peace in the country. Making effort to keep the peace in the country. An individual calling himself spokesperson will make such a reckless statement.
It's Mr. Anthony Gay time, Mr.
Mr. Gay, it is your turn to start.
Mr. Gay,
yeah, Mr. Gay, it's your time to start on this new topic, but this letter is very, very strong.
Look, thank you very much, Mr. Gilman, and good afternoon to all the panelists. Sorry for my technical challenges that I just had. Listen, let me say this, right? If you find an institution who continues to ignore democratic tenets, ethical principles, and moral values, this is what you get from their party spokesperson. A man like Mo Ali, in a civilized and decent country, will have no such position in this election, given his past history. If United Party was a respectable institution, Mo Ali will not uphold the office he's upholding right now. For a man who threatened a young girl to do an abortion because he impregnated her, and the party did nothing and said they cannot meddle into his personal life, it's the man who is challenging again ECOWAS. ECOWAS may have issues that we all may criticize here and there, but to just wake up and make such a reckless statement about an organization of such, that well-educated people within the ECOWAS, they just warn you that they're going to move on you, and Mo Ali walked back the statement. But guess what he did? He threw a jab at the CDC government, and nobody holding him accountable right now. And that's a sad thing. Individuals like they who call themselves educated people need to be held to account. You can't just put out statement because you want to put out statement, and you represent the audience. What's the name?
Political institution.
In Liberia since 1985, the Unity Party been in existence, and these are the kind of reckless folks in high position in the Unity Party. They are seeking to come to office, and they are saying nothing about it. My big brother here today will come and defend, or sometimes even dismiss, not even sometimes, will dismiss my argument, and it's nobody else but Mr. Kamara. These are things that we need to talk about. This is not about politics. This is not about partisanship. This is about decency. This is about moral aptitude that you must exhibit as a leader. You don't just talk because God gave you mouth to talk. You have to talk when necessary and when it makes sense. Are you back my time?
Great. Mr. Koluba, Mr. Gonglo, welcome. You keep right in the middle of not the middle.
He wanted to get punches in your boy Ali. Keep right the right time.
Yeah, you keep right the right time. I know you have read the letter from ECOWAS. you read the comment, you listened to Mr. Mo Ali's accusation that CDC have paid ECOWAS $150,000 to announce that CDC won prematurely on Tuesday, and ECOWAS responded viciously. Your take?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Anything that comes from Mo Ali, I don't read as a matter of principle. I don't think such Mo Ali does not have moral reputitude to actually play any role in our national discourse. You know, on all the platform on Tough Talking Thursday, I actually had a description of who Mo Ali is, and people thought it was not appropriate for the platform. So I don't intend to repeat it here, but I think he's in a different class of social misfits that I can't describe publicly, you know, so I don't deal with it. The man who with a curly hair, who braid hair, said I don't want to go into that, so I don't deal with him, you know, because I think he's in certain class of social behavior that I don't, you know.
Leave it there, Mr. Bumble, leave it there, get it.
I reject it strongly, so I don't. People like that voice from, I don't deal with them, you know. I don't deal with them. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. But again, to the substance of it, I'm not surprised. Because the irony is you have the group, a political party, unity party, that every time Joe Boakai runs to Ghana and says he has gone to meet ECOWAS. You know, do you guys see the irony? He runs to meet ECOWAS all of the time, but then they're accusing the because he has met ECOWAS people more than Weah. But then so Weah should be sedition should be accusing the party of having backdoor deal with ECOWAS, but instead they are trying to cover up to say CDC is doing this because Boakai has been going to Ghana every time and say he's going to meet ECOWAS leader. He got missing, he's going to Nigeria and say he's going to meet ECOWAS leader. All know he's going to run to go beg for money.
Right?
So I think we should just not even elevate statement representing people like Mo Ali view, or particularly speak on behalf of the Unity Party. You know, the Unity Party is a cool institution. I respect it. It's just that in this election, the Unity Party, Joseph Boakai decided to turn himself, and very sadly, he did it unknowingly. He's a step catcher. He has been captured by all the horrible people in our political history, in our current political dispensation. And these people are riding on his back like a horse to go to the market so they can have unfettered access to state resources and state power. The likes of PYJ, the likes of Jeremiah Kuhn, the likes of James Barney, the likes of Ellis Tyler, the list go on. These are political horribles in our current political dispensation. And those are the people who are positioning themselves to ride on the backs of Joe Boakai. I'm not saying so to admit that Joe Boakai is a saint. No, because if you listen to Henry Costa, Joe Boakai is far from being a saint. He's nothing but he is a very smart extortionist. Because if you look at Henry Costa, the guy was sitting there and said, okay, this he sent Costa on the shopping spree and said, yeah, just be getting it and be giving it to me. That you have to fight or Jacob Akoli over $5,000. It's so shameful, you know. I probably could have given him that $5,000 instead of fighting his nephew, you know. You know, I mean, that's the comment I would make. But if I didn't comment on the substance of what Mo Ali wrote, I'm sorry, I don't follow him.
Mr. Kamara, let's look at the contents of this letter.
Why you want to bring Kamara after me? Because I bought it.
Mr. Kamara, let's look at the content. Let's look at the contents of the letter here. This doesn't look good for our country. Let's take out the Mo Ali thing, but let's look at what is being having here. We are talking about an internationally recognized, respected body. For someone to just come out and say they give them $150,000 to pronounce CDC the winner. How do we get to this level, man?
Yeah, Mr. Gamer, thanks for bringing me on. First, let me clarify a couple of things. Somebody talked about Judge Weah has been incarcerated since. I don't know whether he knows the word incarceration, but At no time has the opposition incarcerated President Weah. In fact, President Weah has the power to incarcerate. He has the police.
I think he meant castigated.
Even if it were incarcerated, it means politically that the whole campaign has been captured and hijacked.
And the word is incarcerated, not incarcerated. Incarcerated.
Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah. So where was I? As a matter of fact, listen, these things are completely out of context.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but when a guy comes from ANC and talk about people's statements and how they should stand by their statement, it becomes very laughable. A group of people who call George Weah, who said George Weah was not capable of leading a high school, leading a football team, that he couldn't be capable of running a government. They made a 360-degree turn. A 360-degree turn to support George Weah. If you're talking about somebody of their word and blah, 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 there is an Ellis Cummings that we can put up at least 4 or 5 videos where he made his vow that he will support the opposition, whoever the opposition is, that goes to the second round in case he didn't make it to the second round. The very Ellis Cummings at the end of the day will not only go back on his word, but will run away from the country. A man with no credibility, a man who cannot stand by what he says, and we will pay him in due time.
Oh, we're talking about the letter, man. We're talking about the letter. Ellis Cummings gone. Why are you talking about Ellis Cummings?
Don't interrupt Mr. Kamara, please.
Come on, go ahead.
Yes, people fired up. I like that. You know, look, I will go to Kelabo before I go to the letter. You know, Kelabo comes out here, makes a lot of statements that has no foundation. None of the statements which he makes. He can defend.
You gotta mute your mic, Mr. Fala. Mute your mic. We're hearing some echoes.
Go ahead.
He cannot defend anything he says. Look, Mr. Kelabo, let me inform you that what happened in 2020 between your sister and Mr. Khan has passed. It's election. When you lose, you move on. All this venom and vengeance will take you nowhere. I need you to calm your temperature down, because if when Joseph Boakai wins these elections, I can see how potential becoming your problem, because you lose it. Let me talk about this letter. This statement that Mo Ali made. Mo Ali is a man of his own. He has every right to his opinion. If he made a statement and said he had the facts, then maybe he has the facts. If he retracts his statement in the name of cordiality, then that's up to Mo Ali. But Mo Ali is a credible man as far as we're concerned. Mo Ali is a responsible man, a respectable man in the circle of the Unity Party. You see, Mo Ali slept with a woman, which is normal. Some men are sleeping with men. Mo Ali only slept with women and got a woman pregnant. At least he did not kill 4 or 6 auditors. At least he did not rape and kill women in churches. At least he never had 3 boys killed in St. Paul in Bon County, and then connived with the person who killed them to transact business with that person, which is Moses, St. Moses. So Mo Ali, if you compare Mo Ali to George Weah, Mo Ali is a saint. Thank you.
Look, let me respond quickly, Mr. Gaiman, please. Permit me.
Yeah, go ahead. Then I go
to Look, if you're using allegations and unfounded allegations to empirical evidence So the immorality of a person like Mo Ali to President George Weah, you're doing a disservice to us on this platform. To a non-entity like Mo Ali, who thinks that $150,000 is a lot of money for a 5 or 6 or 7, observer from ECOWAS, some of these guys are millionaires who are coming to observe our elections, and Mo Ali think it's big money that Liberia will pay these people money to rig to be in cahoots with the government to rig the election. It shows his little mind. This is a guy who went to Leeds University. For some of us for some Liberians who don't know about Leeds University, will think since he went to school in England, he's well educated. Leeds University in England is a lowly rated university. He didn't go to Cambridge. He didn't go to Oxford. He didn't go to some of the best schools, the London School of Economics. He went to Leeds. So when people come in and try to make it seem like Mo Ali is some kind of genius and he's this smart guy, just by his ploys, we've seen that he's not very bright. Look, like Mr. Gonglo was trying to say, and I tried to stop him, trying to say at least he's not sleeping with men. Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. That's the point Mr. Gonglo was making, and I tried to stop him. Because Mo Ali is very effeminate. The way he acts, the people around him, that knows that he might be double dipping. So don't go there, Mr. Kamara. And second of all, when people talk about, the United Party is the longest, the oldest political institution in the country, it's a fact. They're the oldest operating political institution that has any viability in our political space. But the reality is they're the most immature, they're the most irresponsible, they're the most lackadaisical of the old political institutions that we have in our country. You'll never see people in the LPP or even people from the LAP, acting so irresponsible. These are irresponsible people. Or you have the likes of a Mo Ali as a spokesperson for a major political institution, where any of his utterances, especially when it comes to political matter, should be reflective of that of the political institution. And you sit here and say Mo Ali speaks for himself. He doesn't. He speaks on behalf of the political institution. He doesn't speak for himself. He's not his own man. He's a man who represents the political institution. So when he comes out and make reckless statements, we hold him accountable. And we hold it on the political institution because they appointed him to that very, very important and integral position within the political party. So Mo Ali is a pathological liar, a man who throws and flings everything at the wall and hopes something sticks. He's a poor propagandist and a man who is morally irreprehensible. So nobody is going to come on this platform and say that Mo Ali is a man of integrity and at least he's better than the president. No way, no how in 10 lifetime can Mo Ali ever measure up to George Weah. Never. Thank you, Mr. Game. I'll turn it back to you.
Good.
Yes, if I can just make a comment, because when I came here, I didn't call Mr. Alio Kamarani, but as usual, he lost my name. He called my name, but and tried to mention my dad and sister, my mother, Madam Ida Gongloa, who is my older sister. And we adore her so much because she's a political giant in our family. I must say that publicly. So if you don't know, wherever she goes, many of us follow her. So let me let you know that. But I will just quickly say this in passing. Madam Weah was asked that question on closing argument on different radio stations in Nimba, that is your support for President Weah based on what happened between you and Kun in 2020? She said no. She said, if I'm better, I'll be better with the CDC government, because I believe strongly that I won that election, but because of Biden negotiation between PYJ and the CDC, that if you give me the second senator, 2 senators in the country supporting you, will deliver Nima to you, and your re-election for second round, for second term will be easy. And they fought me. So if I'm better, I will be better with the CDC. The fact that I'm not better with the CDC and I'm supporting the CDC shows that I'm not better with Kun. And she answered it that way. And she went further. She said, listen, people say Georgia is bad, but see the kind of people who are around Georgia who are living today. The bad people who are around Georgia are leaving. Those are the people who get bad Georgia, bad advances. They are leaving. So the good people must go and replace the bad people, so Georgia's second term will be better. That's why with the good people, we are going to embrace President
May
Weah.
I suggest something, Mr. Gilman?
Give him a better advice. The horribles like PYJ, Kune, who are selling jobs or taking money from Weah for themselves, giving a hospital for $1 million because they are close to the president, using proximity to extract money from the national coffers. They are leaving. We, the good people who care for Liberia, need to go there now and make the president a historic, successful president. And that's why we're there. Okay? And that's the reason she gave. Other than that petite thing, because anytime someone disagrees with a unity party, they say, oh, you receive money from Georgia. Myself, for supporting Georgia, friends have tested me. They've written on Facebook that I received $50,000 from Georgia. I've never even come within 100 feet of Georgia in my life. Okay? But yet people accuse me of receiving money from me only because I support Georgia for this runoff election for fundamental reason. For me, I didn't want to respond to Alio on this thing. I think it's a waste of time. Let's look at what happened today. Ganto today, led by Madam Ida Gonglowe, was a tsunami. I can send you the video. You see it. I talked to her. She was
Senator Kamara.
Mr. Gilman.
I called. She said, Calabo, the D is dumb.
Mr. Gilman.
There you go, Mr. Goglo. That's what I like to hear. He is dumb.
Mr. Kamari, real quick, before I go to
Mr. What I want you to do for me, in order for me to be more enthused in this program, is for you to take control of the show. The cross talking, I know you enjoy it, and it's a CDC thing now for you, but
you see,
but at least let's be somehow uniform. Okay, I think there are other people who need to speak. When we get to Mr. Gongla, he will blow his trumpet and praise himself. But let's just be in order. That's all I need.
Okay, Mr. Kamara, when people are talking, you are known for bugging in, but then when you see the reason you are the United Party folks.
You hold
the number one platform here. You will interject. You will bug everybody. Now,
I just interjected. I just told you that we need to be more uniform.
I think it's Mr. Weah Dosam, Mr. Gamer.
And you talking, Mr.
I agree with Alio. Let's go Alio's suggestion.
Mr. Doe. Mr. Weah Doe, I want you to respond
yes.
to that. But I want you to respond to what is it about Liberia, our beautiful country, that people of foreign national descent who we are not even sure are Liberian citizens, because the Liberian citizen law says when one of your parents is not a Liberian, when you reach the age of maturity, you have to declare legally your citizenship in a competent jurisdiction. And here we are. The last time we had some other guy by the name of Boakai from somewhere.
Nambodike for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Wabodike.
Yeah, Mwagadiki or Mwagadiki came from somewhere, and he occupied a top position in our country. In the 80s, there was a civil union that I think President Doe made the chair of the National Security Council. Here we have some guy named Modad. He was chair of the Unity Party. And here we are again. We have a man by the name of Mo Ali. The reason I'm bringing this up is people who are of a particular country, origin, have patriotism in their veins. You do not speak this way when a country like Liberia that was on its knees and ECOWAS, they lost blood. Their young men and women lost their lives like crazy in Liberia. And here we are, someone is saying, with all they have done, with all the lives they lost, $150,000 is enough for them to put this country back into chaos. Mr. Doe.
You see, Gamer, these are some of the spoils in our political system. You see, Mo Ali is a spokesperson for the United Party. And before he became spokesperson, the likes of DMB and the hierarchy of the party, they look inside him and outside and say, yeah, this guy would be the right person for us. Let him talk for us. But one thing they fail to realize, they call themselves the educated guys. I respect them. I respect most of the partisans and most of the guys in the Unity Party. They are all our friends. But they fail to realize, to know the history of ECOWAS, the importance of ECOWAS into our body politics, the importance of ECOWAS in protecting, bringing back the Liberia we're talking about today, the governance we are talking about today. When some of us used to walk from Nuku Town to Duga Hotel, when everything ran scatter to reset the government. We made sacrifices.
Mr. Doe, hold on 1 second. Let us settle this, please.
Mr. Grease, you got a zero echo, go back and forth. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Doe.
We made sacrifices to walk just to put this government in place. There was nothing at all. Walk from Duka back and forth. All right? For us to see ourselves a party that we're supposed to be respecting, that's supposed to be bringing our people of essence, importance into our body politics. We bring in the beginning. We thought indeed they were the guys who will read between the lines and say, oh yes, speak responsibly. All right? Unity Party enjoy ECOWAS. Truman Johnson, Sally Regine, and the rest. Boakai himself, for 12 years, he was protected. Now he will approve of Mo Ali to make a statement against ECOWAS. I'm so sad. It's so sorrowful. It's so sorrowful. You know, the last time I came on Focus on Africa, I protected Weah because people were calling and say, they say the man, he is old and this and that. I said, you don't talk about the person's age. If the person is sound, let the person go and run. But when people start talking something that is not making sense, and they wrap around themselves, among certain group of people that will be talking things that is out of control, then we will question the person mental health. For Mo Ali, the spokesperson, I would not blame it on Mo Ali. I would blame it on JMB. I would blame it on the chairman of the party. I would blame it on every person in the hierarchy of the party. They didn't want Crafter, they didn't want to Mo Ali to make that statement. So ECOWAS letter, ECOWAS sent a very strong warning. That letter you read, very strong warning. If you don't know the history of ECOWAS in protecting our peace, and you begin to talk recklessly, you're going to be held responsible for that. I will just leave it as it is, and just leave it with the United Party people. They just struggle with that one. They eat it in themselves, and let Tuesday come, we flog them, then ECOWAS will drag them to where they're supposed to drag them. That's all I can say on that.
Those are strong words, Mr. Dove.
We have Honorable William G. Greaves. He came in just in time when we were talking about diplomacy and the like. Mr. Greaves, Honorable Greaves, how are you doing, sir?
You got on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I got you.
I'm doing very well, Mr. Gamer, and thanks for having me, inviting me to be a part of this forum.
Great. The topic we want you to opine on is Mo Ali's allegation.
Mute him while you ask the question.
Some echo is coming on. Some echo.
Yeah, the echo is bad.
I don't know what it is.
So just mute him when somebody else is talking, and when it's his time, it's fine.
Oh.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I had an event today that took my entire day. When I got back, I thought I could just pop in, looking at the time, and based upon the request and your first time, reaching out. So I was like, yeah, let me give it a try. So I hope my sound called, guys. I just did everything in a hurry. I didn't intend to be annoyance to this program.
But can you opine on the situation between Mo Ali and ECOWAS?
Let me go out and come back.
Yeah, go back and come back with the echo too.
It's still the echo still bothering you guys.
The point is, it's an easy fix.
Just
When somebody else is talking, you mute Mr. Green. When it's his time, everybody else mutes.
okay. So I'll be happy if you could burst me, keep me in the phone, because I'm not in tune of the statement. I know it was some derogatory or some threatening one, but I do not have the details. So,
Okay. What happened? Can you mute while I'm talking? Okay. Mo Ali accused ECOWAS of receiving $150,000 from the CDC government for ECOWAS to prematurely announce CDC the winner on Tuesday. And ECOWAS responded harshly. And I'm going to forward a letter to you to read. I read it earlier, but the ECOWAS did not take the comment lightly. And they are demanding that Mo Ali apologizes in writing, retracting his comment. If not, they have all legal rights to hold him personally responsible for smearing the character of such great organization. Basically, that's the gist of it. And you, as a diplomat, what is your take on a spokesperson for a political party accusing an august body by saying they have been bribed $150,000 to pronounce George Weah the winner on Tuesday prematurely?
my brother and fellow panelists, this is a problem our country had found itself for the past couple of years now, or even more. And it's sad. This whole thing about circular thinking, circular beliefs, and the way we go about it. I think if you can go back in time, I have been for the first time taking part in these discussions on the Tough Talking Thursday. My first appearance, first time ever getting involved in the discourse of Liberian politics or Liberian issues, social as well as political. This goes beyond diplomacy. It goes beyond what we will consider as diplomatic engagements or what have you. So I'm sorry, I'm beg to differ that this has to do with integrity of our people, integrity of our institutions, and the newly developed circular way of doing things that we find ourselves, where anybody can get on the microphone, anybody can get on the radio or television and just accuse the next person without evidence, without facts, without any substantial basic in terms of some of the huge allegations that render against each other. And we have found ourselves in a reputational form, in our society, taking its place. And We've done it to each other. We've done it to our government. We have done it to friends. We have done it to family members. We have done it to institutions locally. And now we are going to the next stage where we're taking it to international partners, international organizations, which is bad. Look, the Unity Party have had this pattern, and I was just explaining this the other day. I'm not a partisan of any political group, like wanting to see. I mean, and I have the right as a Liberian to be associated with any individual political group or any party or one particular political group, but I want to see our country benefit from the input of all of the different political establishment, meaning that we all should be careful. We all should be accountable in our utterances. We all should understand what is integrity when it comes to talking about our national issues and what have you. We have followed the pattern over the period where you have statements from the opposition group, especially the Unity Party, with people threatening the peace of our country, people making reckless statements, and I use the word, I said troublemakers, and somebody got mad at me. Why did I say troublemaker? Because reckless statements leads to trouble, and the people who make reckless statements are troublemakers. Those are the only people who will do that. So it is sad that this pattern is continuing, and especially at this critical juncture where we are on our own for the first time in our history since the post conflict. We're now conducting our own elections. The government is there taking all necessary precaution to make sure that this election is held peacefully, fair, and transparent. And we have our institutions that are credible, that are authorized to carry on this task, doing its best, making the sacrifices. And we have individuals who are partaking or participating in these processes who are bent on derailing the process. And it helps nobody. It doesn't even help the Unity Party, a political party institution. It doesn't help any Liberian. It doesn't help our country generally. So the question is, at this stage, and why will we find ourselves in this pattern? And why are they not disavowing or condemning some of these statements, the reckless statements that have been made? It's troubling. Opposition is affirmative. You're just sitting in a position of affirmative alternative to the leadership. You are coming potentially to lead our country, to lead all of us, not lead us in a fashion business or political basic. No, generally as a country. So you should take in the. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to remind. Please mute your mic, please. Just a reminder, Mr. Gamer, we got about 12 more minutes, so maybe we can touch on the last topic before we leave. We're getting the heads up from the leadership of the station that we have to be out of here in like 10 minutes. So just giving you a heads up about the time, Mr. Gamer. That's all. You're muted, Mr. Gamer.
Oh, Mr. Honorable Grease, go ahead and land.
Okay, thank you. No, I mean, I'm just trying to adjust myself to form a part of this discussion, though, because I unfortunately just got in. So I will stop right there. It's just all about the circular thinking, circular belief, the way we're going about our discourse politically, with recklessly, and the pattern from one group. I know people don't want to hear when I speak meanly about the opposition group, but that's what we are seeing. That's what the evidence leads us to. We've heard from the top to the all of the speakers. Everything has been threat. They're not persuading. They're not telling our people what best they can do, what their propositions are, how they can offer a change, how they can offer enhancing the process as it is now, the one to condemn. But it's all about threats. It's all about and we all know it. I mean, as you turn on the Vera talking points, you hear them talk. It's all to talk about. You hear nobody disavowing, you hear nobody condemning, everybody just kind of like in some way, I mean, and being silenced is being in control of, being in support of it. So I will stop right there. I just got in, and for time constraining. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Green. Thank you for taking your time off. You gave me heads up early this morning that you had several engagements and you were going to make sure that you stop me, and that's good. Mr. Morris, you just heard what he said. The White House has this girl they call Karine Jean-Pierre. She is the spokesperson for the White House. She speaks basically for the Democratic Party, for the president, for everything. If she comes out in a press conference or whatever she says is a statement from the government, how can these people say Mo Ali is on his own? He is speaking for himself. How can they say this?
Right. And that's why I pushed back on Mr. Kamara when he said that. But quickly, let me just give you an example, Mr. Gaiman. I think I sent you that link and I sent it to Mr. Jai and some other people. The head of the ECOWAS mission into Liberia to observe our elections was on Arise TV, it's a TV station in Nigeria, and was complimenting the process of our elections in Liberia, and was saying that it should be used as a case study for future Nigerian elections, because we saw the chaos that happened in this past presidential election with Nigeria. So the people are praising our election. I want to say the thing about Liberian men, we think everything in our country is so bad and it's the worst it can possibly be, where other people are looking at some of the positives that are happening in our country. This guy was praising the election process in our country on national TV in Nigeria. I'll send you that link. If you go to your WhatsApp, you'll probably see it. Maybe you didn't watch it, but it's there. It's about a 12-minute video, and he's talking about the process in Liberia. So like I stated earlier, a spokesperson like Mo Ali, who is supposed to be educated, who is supposed to be smart enough to understand that attacking international bodies is only going to put you at a disadvantage. The reality is you have poll watchers, you have intelligent and smart people and experienced people in political, in politics in Liberia, in political activities in Liberia, who should be guiding you. That's why it's important to have the elders, to have the most experienced people leading you in such a crucial time. Not rookies, people who know how the process works, people who know what to look for, people who know how to safeguard your vote in the process. Not people who are doing this for the first time. Not people like Dylan who will go take blue plastic bag and say you have all the tally sheets, or he didn't go through the proper pipeline on how to get those tally sheets and how to verify them, and just make erroneous statements that the election was already won by the Unity Party. The reality is Mo Ali should be reprimanded for such an irresponsible statement. But somebody like Joe Boakai, who lacks leadership, who lacks any authority, will not take the necessary action to reprimand Mo Ali. And that's the thing that we're seeing from Joe Boakai over and over and again. And if the Liberian people want to elect this man who refused to take any meaningful action, that's going to be on them. If they think George Weah is bad, you're going, the Liberian man can say Joseph Boakai is worse. So let's just wait and see. But I know on the 14th, George Weah will be re-elected, because the Liberian people know they cannot give Joseph Boakai, an ineffective, a feckless leader, any power in our country, because the hyenas, the political hyenas that's around him, will run wild with our country resources. Thank you, Mr. Gibbon.
Great. Mr. Gonglo, you got 1 minute here. We got no time. In your closing, I know what we are seeing here from our international community, like Honorable Gree said, the evidence leads to one spot, and that one spot is the opposition. When the leader of the Unity Party say, if I don't win this election and you're rig it, that would be the end of this country. Okay? And then you keep hearing these things about war, about destruction, about killing people. And then people in Lofa County, 3 people got murdered in Lofa County. And then in Nimba County, based on the authority, somebody from Jeremiah Cole's office, his nephew killed one of his opposition. So you don't have to go out there and tell people. We have a typical example in this country when Trump.
The question can be too long, Mr. Gilman.
Excuse me, sir. When Trump insinuated that they were going to storm the White House, that the election was going to be stolen, and that he told the Proud Boys to come. All of these things were all doorways so that the people took to and went and stormed the Capitol. Mr. Gonglo, in your closing, we have a letter here from ECOWAS that condemn the Unity Party. That's what it is. There is no effort. And this man, the spokesperson for Unity Party, this letter is addressed to Unity Party. Your closing, sir.
Well, I'm not going to draw on that letter. I think other panelists have spoken about it. And for me personally, it's an important issue, but I think it speaks to the character of Joe Boakai. It speaks to the kind of government, if he's like, and it is a big if here, if he's elected, the kind of government he's going to have an amorphous group, like a Boakai organization, basically where everybody care for themselves, because a spokesperson of a major opposition leader, whatever he come out to the press and say, you must have clear it out from that person you're speaking for, Dex, to say yes. In fact, the choice of words is check everything, because when you choose certain words, your critics are going to analyze that word. Okay, for Moadi to come and speak, he's not even on his own. He was speaking for Joe Boakai, the guy who is the only candidate that has visited ECOWAS the most in the last 2 months. Because every time he get missing from Liberia, and say he wants to be ECOWAS leader. For him to use that, so for me, it speaks to the kind of leadership. And I'm praying that the God above us should not allow Joe Boakai to be elected. Like Madam Ide Gonglo said during the campaign, she created an analogy. She said, listen, Joshua here is a frying pan here. Joseph Boakai here is a fire. Councilor Gonglo here is a bucket of water. If you come from the frying pan, come to the bucket of water, it will cool you. You come from the fire, come here, it will cool you. But you don't need the frying pan, go to the fire.
You burn faster.
Yeah, so because it will finish you. The actions will be left over, At least when they fry you, the crumbs will be there, So that's the analogy she created. And consistent with Joe Boakai lack of leadership and threat to the peace. And that's why I've argued that Joseph Boakai represents an existential threat to our democracy. Because he is a step catcher vessel. See what is happening in Nima today. His major allies, Jeremiah Koo and Prince Johnson, are wreaking havoc on the people. In Zwale, General Kongba's home, General Kongba's son decided to hold a memorial service for his father on November 12th. PYJ and Jeremiah Koo, Nima is the biggest by landmass county in Liberia. They could have campaigned in Tabata elsewhere. They said that under Zwale, they will go campaign. And the guy tested and said, look, my people are here to memorialize my father. Don't come here to disrupt our event. He went there with people dressed like Kamajors. Maybe I'll find some of the pictures and send to you, Gilman. They were dressed like Kamajors on motorbike with banana leaves, with days tied to the motorbike. In fact, they're driving the motorbike, say you don't see that, you see jelly. Baby banana tree, they tied to the motorbike. They enter like Kamajor, thing tied around them. They exchanged single barrel fire. One person died. But at least it would have been much more worse than that. Prince Johnson and Jeremiah could not run away from the town because they ran them away. It would have been worse than that. Okay? That is consistent with Joe Boakai's statement that he would tolerate the people into submission for him to be elected. Because for him, it is a do or die battle because there is a biological limit that he cannot run in the next election. So he must get elected this year. Otherwise, no more. That historical record, that historical record he wants to set, he cannot set it in 2023, which he's trying to take this country to war because of that. I rest my case. But we must reject him.
Great. Honorable Greaves, you can close 1 minute. I know you got places to go. We are at the end here. your closing argument, your closing statement.
And you please send me your number so I can call you here.
The man even want me to close now. He's going back to the
He's our special guest. Go ahead.
Okay, once again, you guys, thank you all for having me. I'm just flustered and back and forth, not even settled because I just keep running, grab my computer, turn it on, and just got in the middle of your discussion. I know you guys have had several times going through all the evidence and everything. So bear with me as I try to catch up and get myself stimulated. Yes, I'll go back to diplomacy. Like you were right. You know, I think more than education, more than the competence, I think it has to do with discipline and the lack of integrity as well in this whole thing. So we have a lot of our people perambulating and masquerading the corridors of our country and our body politics, claiming to be very competent, educated, and what have you. And they're the rightful place rightfully put place for leadership. And you find out that discipline, integrity, and conduct are one of the things that they're lacking. And that does not only just bear with any one group of political party or partisans. It has a cloud that is casted upon our entire country. So to have a major political party coming up with baseless accusations against our international partners, that talks about our limitations when it comes to diplomacy and foreign policy. And what does that have in effect? It comes back to us because it's very counterintuitive, counterproductive to our national interest. And our national interest that is transcendent to our foreign policy is to protect our citizens, protect our interests with our partners, because we can do it alone. And we have those people who are standing by us, side by side, and we start to castigate them. We are putting Liberia in a bad position because, like one of the panelists just mentioned, I listened to the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, who had a 30-minute discourse on Liberian politics. I mean, the first round of elections, and he held us so high. He was very impressed with the way the elections were conducted. He went through. He mentioned that it was free, fair, transparent. Yes, we had one or two little problems. But I mean, they didn't have standing. The margin of error was nothing compared to having any problem in our the entire electoral process or what have you. So there are people who are speaking out there, ECOWAS, the leaders, those international observers, monitors. They're speaking good about elections. They're speaking how credible elections, our process were. But our own people, especially, and like I said, there's a pattern that is being formed now that we have observed within one block. And it's not hurting them alone, it's hurting all of us to find out that even the leaders of those groups cannot come and disavow some of the comments or condemn some of these things. It's troubling. And Liberia right now, we've come from a very dark past just recently, and we cannot afford to see ourselves derailing our peace process going back. And no element of society should even engage in such. So I hope and pray that Tuesday things are done peacefully with all the parties, all the partners, everybody who play major roles in it. And at least it's evident that the nation and the world and our international partner, the international community can see all of these things. Because some of these things I'm talking about, some of the things I'm alluding to, there are things that are out there in the international circle and they're discussing it right now as I speak to you. The pattern from this one side, with all of the different comments that have been made, it's been recorded, it's been noticed. So that's a serious problem, and that's where I'm coming from. So Liberia, like I always say, Liberia is our country. Liberia is for us. You don't have to be part of any political party to see the good, to preach peace, and to make sure our country is safe and on the right road trajectory to success. So it is troubling. It is very concerning, and I will pray and hope that some of those leaders, those leaders in those areas, will now deem wisdom to make sure that this is curtailed, this is stopped, this is abolished, and it should come up with public. I mean, we got 2 or 3 more days to elections. they should come up now and speak publicly to the country, disavowing some of these comments, condemning it, and that did not stand by it, does not represent them. Although it will be late, but at least something that is done that we can all look back to in future. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Dad. Mr. Kamara, please, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'm surprised that Mr. Gonglo would say that somebody will having memorial service for their past, so he had a right to stop campaign. And the moral speaker over there never touched that. Or his moral advisors for UP. But let me just say this. Mr. Gilman, great guy. I like you a lot. Very entertaining. I try to make sure to control myself today so I don't laugh too much. It was intentional. I refused to laugh today. When you make a certain statement for the sake of the audience, and this is a very big platform, intellectually speaking. Henry Costa supports you guys today. Henry Costa. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Henry Costa supports you guys today. Henry Costa never declared his Baron is the mute, man.
Yeah, I'm meeting everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. Henry Costa did not declare his intention to become a citizen of Liberia. Do you still accept his support? You can answer that question for me when you are closing. This can not only be about Mo Ali. I hope you also denounce the support coming from Henry Costa, because one of Henry Costa's parents was a foreigner. Listen, Mo Ali is his own man, and the statement Mo Ali made was not an official statement from the Unity Party. However, we respect his opinion, we respect his view, and he has every liberty to do so. We understand that Mo Ali in some ways retracted the statement. If that is not enough for those of you in the CDC, all of you guys who support the CDC, that's not enough for you. Yeah, you can hammer and pound on that until after the election. We know that on Tuesday, one person is going to win. Either way, it's either going to be Joseph Juma Boakai or Alice Cumming, or not Alice Cumming, or George Weah, which we know Joseph Boakai is going to win. Anyways, let's set certain things straight here. Just because I decided to go to Kwadu Boni, the district of my ancestor, to memorialize my great-grandparents, doesn't mean CDC cannot go to Kwadu Boni. I do not own Kwadu Boni. Listen, somebody took a single barrel, shot a gun at a convoy carrying two sitting superintendent senators. Mr. Gilman, you refuse to touch that. No, that's not important to you. What you wanted to talk about was the allegation that two citizens were killed in Weah. And I did not hear the moral speaker Grace talk about that either.
It's PYG who shot the gun.
Let me do my closing and get out of here very soon. You never touched any of that, and I can understand. I don't hold this against you because you're a citizen. You are on a badge. There's no way. And I'm this is why this particular day I wanted somebody neutral to host the show, and it would have been much better, and people would have been pushed to actually give evidence of some of the statement. When you listen to Evans Morris and Kelabo, they just entertain people to just throw all kinds of words out there. You know what I mean? Which is good. This person is this, is that, I just listen. I want to laugh, but I hold myself because there's nothing in those kind of statements. But again, it has been a wonderful show. I can't say everything I need to say because we're pressed upon time. But we know that Joseph Yuma Blocker is a credible man. We know that Mo Ali is a credible man. We also respect the right of people to speak their mind. We will not take any moral coaching or moral lectures from anyone. The election will go on. Who wins will win. We will remain who we are, and we will continue to express our dissatisfaction with the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morris, well, let me keep you last. Mr. Say, Gay, let's go here. I know the backstage, they're telling me we're 9 minutes past our time. Real quick, closing.
Look, it is a disservice for us to come on this platform and Mr. Kamara speaks in the way he speaks and nobody holds him accountable. He said, oh, but a man who slept with a woman. Listen, adultery is a crime or is a sin. And he violated his marital home and had a child there.
What is it not married?
Whether they're married or unmarried, according to the Liberian law, they've been together for a few years and that will automatically make them married. Right? But let's leave that part alone.
The men are Muslim get married up to 4.
But here's the thing. His Muslim tradition does not transcend over the institution of moral integrity, right? The moral integrity here is that you have a man who is the face of your political party, the spokesperson, le porte-parole de ton parti politique, mon frère. C'est une papa en français. You can't sit here and pretend as though Mo Ali is anybody who has integrity. That is the problem I have with Unity Party. The very Joseph Numa Boakai, former vice president of Liberia, I also asked him an integrity question, and he ran away from it at the Victory Harvest Church in Philadelphia. So these same people were masquerading around here celebrating Henry Costa when he used to wake up in the morning, insult President Weah, insult Mr. Cummings. They said nothing. Henry Costa was propagating the message for Unity Party. They were excited. Henry Costa turned around on them the same way the same thing he was doing to the other people when they were excited. He's doing it to them now. Henry Costa is nobody of integrity, or he can't be credited. He can't be believe any longer. That's what happened when one person comes into the camp and disturb, and you think that person will not come to you, and you celebrate it. That person will come to you. The ranking for one person. Y'all was celebrating here. So for me, I will hope. Yeah, much that I hate to say it, but I would rather President Weah stay in office than the Unity Party folks. These folks don't even have access to power. They are already threatening journalists that they will not work with. They are already shortlisted individuals that they will make sure that the people will not come closer to the government. They are already planning to replace every person that works in the government. Who does that? The same thing Trump did in the country and fire almost career diplomats and remove career civil servants that do immigration work. Now you file immigration paper, it takes forever. Who does that? Who comes to office and fire everybody? I will pray that Unity Party will be buried forever. Because if they lose this election, that's it. They're not coming back again.
Thank you.
The way the CPP formation and the likes of Henry Costa resuscitated the Unity Party, you guys going to be buried politically. I mean politically, not physically. Politically, you will be buried.
All right, let me make my closing quickly so we can go.
Let's get out of here. Go ahead, real quick.
Yeah, quickly. I just want to juxtapose. Look, when people act like, for example, this whole drug issue just started under George Weah. I think we remember when people were going into the graveyards and digging dead body skeleton, crushing their bones and smoking it. This was under the Joseph Boakai Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. I remember when people were building miniature prisons and living in it and calling it their homes, where they were putting iron bars, iron gate all around their house because we had an epidemic of armed robbers in our country. That was under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration and Joe Boakai as vice president. When we saw the epidemic of rape of young girls in our country, where Ellen Johnson herself was embarrassed and was wondering what was going on with the Liberian men, it was under the Ellen Johnson Joe Boakai administration. The reason I'm saying these things is because the sky didn't start falling in Liberia since George Weah took office. It's been falling for a long time. And Ellen had more resources, more international goodwill, and did very little to fix those problems. Nowadays, yes, we got some drug, infestation in our country, but we don't really hear about the epidemic of rape. We don't really hear about armed robbery in the country like we used to hear. Things are definitely getting better. We still have a lot of challenges. So when you want to put these two people and compare and contrast, the reality is the problems that we face of old has been minimized under this presidency although we have some problems that are rearing their ugly heads, the president is trying to fight it. When it comes to governance, when it comes to taking decision, one of the things that people think Joseph Boakai would be way better at President Weah will at is his wisdom, but his lack of actions, his inactions, has shown that he may not be a very wise man, or he may be going downhill, mentally. The reality is Joseph Boakai does not take action. He is not a person who shows his authority. He's not somebody who's going to hold people accountable. We've seen this from the past 5 years. He's never held anybody accountable. If you want to fire somebody, you got to run him coaster and ask if you should fire the person because the person eating too much of his money. Is that the kind of president we want? When people start stealing from the government, he will go ask, his confidant if he should fire these, people if they're eating too much of the country money. The reality is, pick President George Weah on November 14th. That's his jersey number 14. I remember when I used to go to the SKD Stadium with my dad. I saw George Weah playing football, put our country on his back, and he's going to do the same thing as our president, put us on his back and carry us into development and prosperity. Vote number 2, come October 14th. Thank you, Mr. Gamer.
Good. Mr. Weah, real quick, 1 minute. We got to go.
War drums, beating is saying peace. CDC is saying peace. The Unity Party continue to beat war drums. We said no, we don't want war in the country. We don't want war in the country at all. The statement that Ali made was reckless. I don't think we can find that. We should find that in our body politics at all. A political party should be prepared to run for an election. If you don't have money, you don't have the strategy, just lay low. Do not participate. It is nothing wrong when you buy t-shirts and give money to people to encourage them to come and participate in your process. There's nothing wrong. Some all were transported to Colorado to beat on those here in the United States. It doesn't mean that they were enticing us to do the things out of the way. That's the political process. Say, Willie Blair, you don't run. I put it in crew so that the crew can hear it. The fact of the matter here is ECOWAS has helped Liberia. Our governance process today is started with ECOWAS when Liberia was normal. We were in Liberia. We used a war from Newtown to Duka. Okay? When the Dr. Sawyer so rest in perfect peace and the rest of the other guys, all right, we were putting the government together. It was not a small thing that a person from a political party supported by his leader, the political leader, JMB, and the rest of the other folks that are there, who knows the importance of ECOWAS, all right, we come and make such a reckless statement. But let's come on Tuesday. Go vote and go vote number 2. That's the only thing way to progress, to growth, to prosperity. I thank you, Mr. Gamer. This show was a very nice show. I hope to coming back again. Thank you all.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to our panelists. We have run out of time. I want to say thank you to Honorable Greaves, Mr. Doe, Morris. I want to say this to our folks. I don't have time. I had my take. That would take 2 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. We said the only person in Liberia that is so tolerant, okay? When you look at the MCC scorecard and you look at for the first time that Liberia passed 14 out of 20, that tells you a lot. Yes, we have areas we got work to do, but I want to congratulate the president and his able-bodied team for doing an amazing job. This is why they're going to be re-elected on Tuesday. Vote George Weah and Howard Taylor, Joel Howard Taylor on Tuesday for a quiet, peaceful Liberia where everybody can have the choice to curse the president's mom and war free, where we have no political president. Thank you very much. And as always, as we close our show, we say we are all Liberians. And the next time we meet here, Honorable Greaves, I hope you can be here. It will be next Sunday. And we'll be here doing postmortem. Postmortem.
Oh,
wow. Thank you very much.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. DJ House of Pain. Yes, I like this one. Him alright, yes, him alright.
Our children, they are future leaders. Our children, they are future leaders. Remember, our children, they are future leaders. When we get where no more, they will do what tomorrow. Remember, our children, they are future leaders. Our women, they are our fathers. They are our fathers, they are our fathers in progress. Immorality, 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 immorality.
Yes, one and win.
I want you to know they are future leaders for tomorrow. When we get where no more, they will do what tomorrow. Our women, they are our fathers. They are our fathers, they are our fathers in progress. We don't want no more war. Want to show Liberia. We don't want no more war, Liberia. But I have followed who there is level. Why? They are 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 we down on the arrow. We don't want no more war. We down on the arrow. We don't want no more war. After we suffering too much, after we suffering too much, we want peace. We don't want no more war. Tired dying, tired suffering. All over Liberia, war is everywhere. Music we play, Jawa talent, in Liberia. People suffering too much. We don't want no more war. We don't want no more war. Tired suffering. Liberia, never find common ground. Never find common ground. For better Liberia. Find common ground. For our children future. Never find common ground, Liberia. We stay around the era, whether we began, whether we began. Tired suffering, tired dying, whether we began. Malaya follow with their respect, people suffering. Everywhere they want it, people dying everywhere.
Let's pray for them.
People dying everywhere.
DJ House of Pain. gonna help you pray, brother.
We don't want no more war.
Don't give up. Speak your mind.
We don't want no more setback war.
God will bless us. Tell it as it is. Tell the word, brother. It's DJ House Opinion.
We don't want no more war.